4 more to be announced by September. Find out more about the Sober Woodstock in Sugarloaf Key by joining rockersinrecovery.com or by calling 877-799-8773. Free concert, Rockers in Recovery Memorial Day Weekend Concert, May 28th, 1:30 to 6:30 p.m., featuring Ricky Byrd, guitarist of the NYC Hit Squad and formerly of Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, along with Jason Sultan, bassist of Todd Rundgren and Utopia, Mick Jagger and Celine Dion, along with 3 other great bands, Johnny B and the Road Dogs, Keep Coming Back Band, and Rhetoric. Come out and join us at the First Step Sober House Memorial Day Free Concert at 450 Southwest 2nd Street, Pompano Beach. To find out more, go to rockersinrecovery.com or call 877-799-8773.
Are you ready for real food made fresh for you? Then the new Miami Subs Grill is just what you're looking for, offering the best cheesesteaks anywhere. Our Philly cheesesteak is marinated steak with onions grilled to perfection, then smothered in Swiss American cheese and served on a baked sub roll. Need the perfect game time meal? Try our chicken wings. Crispy style, straight off the grill, naked or boneless with our famous wing sauce. You want them tossed or extra hot? We got them. Of course, you could always go for the gyro. After all, no one does a gyro like Miami Subs. The all-new Miami Subs Grill. The best cheesesteak, wings, gyros, burgers, and more. Much more. Always open late with some of our locations offering breakfast, beer and wine, and delivery. Yes, delivery. For more on Miami Subs, go to MiamiSubs.com. Get special deals and coupons or like us on Facebook for exclusive Facebook offers. With over 30 South Florida locations and more than 20 years in South Florida, Miami Subs is still the hometown favorite. The new Miami Subs Grill. More delicious choices, bold new flavors, and a great new look. Come in today.
Bert Gluck. I am a practicing trial lawyer and have been specializing in helping people who have been injured in all types of accidents for the past 20 years. I handle cases throughout the state of Florida. Recently, the legislature in Tallahassee has changed certain laws, and insurance companies are now taking advantage of those changes, resulting in much lower offers on personal injury cases across the board. It is now necessary to file a lawsuit to get a fair settlement on these cases. Before you settle your case for less than what it's worth, let me review it over the phone or in person with you for free. If there is no recovery, there is no fee. Call now for your free consultation at 954-583-8999. That's 954-583-8999. The hiring of an attorney is an important decision that should not be based solely upon advertising. Ask for free written information about qualifications and experience.
All right. Let's welcome you to another day here at Rockers in Recovery, and my name is John Hollis, and we want to thank you for tuning in tonight. And, of course, we want to let you know there's lots of things going on. The first thing that is going on that's going to be coming up here rapidly on May 28th, we are having a small little shindig down here. A couple of thousand people are going to show up over at the First Step Sober House, and that's May 28th. And Ricky Byrd, formerly of Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, and the New York City Hit Squad will be in town, along with Chasm Sultan. We're looking forward to those guys coming to town. 5 other bands are going to be there. We're going to be jamming out all day. And, of course, we're looking forward to that. This coming Saturday, by the way, at the T Bank Amphitheater in Ben Salem, Pennsylvania, Sober Stock. It's going to be a great time had by all. Tune in tonight at 9:30. We are on the air. Rockers in Recovery is the name of this radio show, and we are on for 5 hours, 7 to midnight tonight. And we're going to have on, of course, David from Sober Stock. We have our guest, who is, of course, Chris Anderson in the first hour. We got Chasm Sultan in the second hour. We got Woody Geisman of the Del Fuegos in the third hour. So we're rocking out here tonight. We're going to have a great lineup. We're looking forward to lots of folks being on with us and sharing their story, sharing their message, and sharing their music, because you know something, it's all about the music, and it's all about the message of hope. And if we get to carry a message of hope today, we get to be able to let people know that, hey, listen, we're not a glum lot. We can be educated on addiction. We can be, of course, thorough in all of our work, but most importantly, we have to understand that, you know, we can have fun along the way, too. And this is about talking about those issues. It's talking about the changes that take place in early recovery right up until wherever you're at in your recovery. Change is inevitable. It's always going to take place, and how are we going to handle it? So what we're going to do is, first we're going to play one of course, Chris's songs. And when we come back, we're going to talk to Chris Anderson about his music, where he came from, how we got to where he's at, and we'll do that right after this song. And of course, that's Chris Anderson. And of course, Chris has been the lead trumpet for Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes for over a decade. Along with the Juke Horns, he's played with the Allman Brothers, Little Feat, and Bruce Springsteen. He was the trumpet player for Donald Fagen's New York Rock and Soul Review, and is featured on his CD Live at the Beacon. A renowned Latin player, Chris recorded and toured with legends Ray Barretto and, of course, Celia Cruz. And some of the other credits are, of course, Mark Anthony, Michael Baldwin, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, and Benny King, and he's been around the block. And, of course, Chris is a great guy. I met him up when I was in New York hanging out at a New York City Hit Squad show. And what a night it was. And we had some great music and some great fun. And I got to tell you, they blew us right out of the place. It was beautiful, and beautiful music. And let's go to the phone and get Chris on. And of course, Chris, welcome to the show.
Hey, John.
And listen, man, that was some great stuff you had going on there with Southside.
Yeah, that's the new CD, and it sounds good. Even sitting here listening to it through the phone, I like that cut.
Yeah.
And, ultimately the message is positive too.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I like it.
Chris, we're talking about positive messages, and we've all been through the ringer in one way or another. Some people have gone through it emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, and I'm sure that you've had your taxations with your bottoms, and it got you to a new place in your life. What got you into the music arena to begin with? Before you even went through the trials and tribulations of your life, what made you say, okay, something, I want to play the trumpet?
Well, I'm 54 years old. Just to say, I've been sober 17 years, and
wow.
Without being sober, my life the way it is right now would not be possible. There's no doubt about that. But my parents were not musicians. They were involved with theater. My mom, when I was born, was still an actress. She became a school teacher. And my dad had been involved with theater, was involved with many different businesses around theater, and ended up being in advertising. But he was an alcoholic for my entire childhood. But performing and the arts were always part of my household. Music was a big thing in my school, and it was a cool thing to do. So I just kind of started it as a kid. Would start playing trumpet, and it was where I wanted to hang out when I was in the school. And then the more I did it, the more it gave me a spiritual, without even thinking about the term spiritual, but gave me something inside of me that I wasn't getting anywhere else. And though I was very insecure about my abilities as a musician, I was so attracted to it that I didn't have any choice really but to try to do it.
It's funny that you bring that up because, even way back in my life, I grew up in a family filled with musicians, and one of the things that I always found, even though I wasn't, one of the things I found was from the music, I got a spiritual uplift.
Oh, absolutely. And to this day, for me, playing with other musicians, being in a band where everyone is doing individual things, but it's a group collective. The statement, the sum is greater than the parts. In music, that's an amazing thing when people are playing together and you're really listening to the other person next to you rather than yourself. You could say it's spiritual in the same way of getting out of yourself, getting out of your head. Music can take you to that place where you're not so consumed with your own thoughts. And when you're playing music, when music is best, you have no fear. You have no concern about yourself. It's just serving a higher purpose, I think. And in that way, it's very spiritual.
I love when you look at that overtone that you have with your life today, because I'm sure that you didn't realize it then, but you know today that when you plug in, part of spiritually plugging in is doing the things that make you feel good spiritually, correct?
Yes.
So when you step up onto a stage and you get to spend an hour or 2 hours or 2.5 hours on that stage and you get to just flow with time, it's an amazing thing for you to be able to carry. Now you get to be able to carry that spiritual feeling to other people in a positive way.
Absolutely. I've always, even when I was drinking and drugging, I always felt like what I did in my life, on the good side.
Mm.
That playing music is something that is it's on the positive side of life, on the negative. It's not just to make a buck or to take a buck away from somebody else. It's to give something to people, and that's a great gift to be able to do that. It's a great gift to be able to make a living doing that. Without making money from it, music is an incredible gift.
And when you finally broke, when you broke into the industry, how did you break into the industry? I mean, was it something that just happened? Was it like one of those fate things, or?
I had been when I was in high school, I played a lot of classical trumpet, and my life was not involved with classical music except as a player. I listened to rock and jazz, but I was playing a lot of classical music. And I got into Manhattan School of Music in New York, and I came into New York and started going to that conservatory. After my first year there, I was very aware that I didn't want to play classical music, and I kind of changed the way I was playing, and I started playing Latin music, which, for rock and rollers, you want to play guitar. In Latin music, you want to play trumpet. It's great. You carry the ball in a lot of ways in Latin, and I had no connection to it before I started playing it, and I was after about 6 months of doing it, I really loved it. I loved going to nightclubs. I loved playing in the bands. I loved the music. I loved the drugs. I loved the late nights, the drinking. The entire thing worked for me. So, and I played with a lot of great musicians, and I spent almost 10 years playing Latin music.
We down here in South Florida. We know a little bit about Latin music.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I said down here in South Florida, we know a little bit about Latin music.
I spent many nights in Miami playing, and as you said, I played with Raton, with Hector Lavoe, who was very renowned in the Latin history. He was an incredible artist, very spiritual artist who was also a junkie, wanted to be a gangster, and he was known as the king of punctuality because he never showed up to a gig on time, and everybody knew that he was a complete screw up, but they loved him anyway, and he was really wonderful to play for on a musical side. On a personal side, it was not so good because he attracted a lot of really dangerous people and put me in a lot of weird places. But musically, it was wonderful, and so I did that almost for 10 years, and then I decided that in order to change my life and get cleaner, not that I wanted to stop, but I would stop playing Latin music and then I'd do more rock and R&B. That was going to be my way as people who are tell their stories about getting sober. There's many twists before you actually decide, wait a minute, I can't do this anymore. One of my twists was that rock and roll was going to help me stay away from cocaine.
It's almost like a musical geographical.
Yeah, it was pretty. Looking back, it was pretty silly of me at the time, but I did kind of change musically where I was in the mid '80s, and I played a show in New York called Beehive for a couple of years, and I started doing more. That's when I played subbed on Blood, Sweat and Tears some, and started playing with Benny King, and so I kind of changed where I was, but I was still playing with Hector Lavoe, and I was still going to Europe every so often with Ray Garetto. So my Latin connections were still there as well.
So did you find that during the time period, like, and that change started to occur for you, when you finally went like totally into the rock and roll scene? I'm sure you've you found yourself at times, during that time period of the insanity, because the insanity is raging. So it just sounded like you're on like 2 or 3 continents at least. You're going through all of your insanity. You're raging, so to speak. Did you find yourself at any time saying to yourself, something, I just want to crawl into a hole and I don't ever want to have to deal with this again. I just want to walk away from everything?
For myself, it was, I think it was a very slow awakening. I think I always knew, especially seeing my father, who was an alcoholic, and knowing that he was a bad drunk. I knew that I had a problem, but it took a long, long time for me to realize that I could not control my problem. I got sober in 1993, and I would say that in the last 5 years of my drinking and drugging were when it started to gradually, I gradually became aware that it was ruining my life. But even up until a year before, when my wife moved out, I had played the New York Rock and Soul Review at the Beacon with Donald Fagen, and then the next year they went on tour, and I was not asked to do it. Looking back, whether it was related to my drinking and drugging, I suspect it was, but I never heard that. I never heard that I didn't do a good job, but it hurt a lot not to get that tour. And my life seemed to be getting smaller and smaller. My wife moved out. She decided that she'd had enough. And so after she moved out, I decided that maybe I needed to talk to somebody about it. And I went to a marriage counselor, who sent me to a therapist. And one of the first things I said to the therapist was, I don't want to talk about my drinking. That is not what I want to deal with. And he was fine. And so I did a lot of therapy with him. He got me working on other issues, and he would bring up my drinking and drugging occasionally. But it wasn't until September of that year when I went to Israel with Ray Barretto, and I could not control my drinking. I could not, even when my reputation, when my job, when all those things that were so important to me, when they were on the line, I still was not able to control it. And I came back from that and told that to my therapist, and he said, well, I know you don't want to deal with this, but I think the only assignment I have for you this week is that you need to go to an AA meeting. And so I went, and he said you have to call intergroup first, and they'll tell you where a meeting is. And I called, and on the phone the person said, and my therapist said, they'll tell you what to do. And the person on the phone said, the only thing you are asked to do is that when they ask if there are any new people here, you should put your hand up. So I sat in that meeting. I hated it. I could not stand being there. But when it came time to put your hand up, I put my hand up, and I figured, okay, now I've done my time and I can leave. And I left before the meeting was over, and as I was going out, somebody at the door gave me a packet with some literature in it, and I took it, and I went home, and one of the books there was a book called Staying Sober. And it was not really an AA, especially an AA book, but it was how you can stay sober. And I read that book that night, and one of the things I never forget that book said was, lack of sleep never killed anybody. Because, there's no way I was sleeping that night because I just was not, I didn't drink, and I didn't drink that night. And the next day I went to a different meeting, and I sat in that meeting and I heard somebody tell a story that was exactly my feeling, but different facts. And I went to a meeting for every day for the next year. And I've been sober since then. I never have had a slip.
It's amazing stuff, man. And,
yeah.
One of the things that I wanted to just talk about is the two things. You know, as you're telling your story, one of the things that I'm picking up is that there are no coincidences. There's God situations. And, you know, it happened for you when it was supposed to happen for you. The other thing is that, you know, when you're reading the book that you were reading and you're going through all the things that you're going through, it's almost like, you know, when somebody's talking to you, I don't know what your belief systems are and higher power and all that, but, you know, I know for me when I start to see things like that, there's no coincidences for me anymore. I feel that either, you know, God speaks through people to me, and he definitely points things out to me as I'm reading, and things jump off the page at me. That stuff didn't happen when I was using.
Yeah, absolutely. I have very, very unfocused, I wouldn't say conflicted, but I do not have a strong feeling about what higher power is, what God is.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that when I am not in my head and I ask for help, that help is there. I know that we are all connected. That's how I touch my higher power, is that I know that there is something besides my own perception of reality. And many people that I talk to can easily grasp it as a specific concept of God. Mine is much more amorphous than that. But I have no doubt that we are not alone, and that we are connected, and that's how I think of as my spiritual connection.
Chris, we're going to ask you to, of course, we're speaking with you, just tuning in with us on WNN 1470 AM. We're speaking with Chris Anderson. He's been the lead trumpet player for Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes for over a decade. And, of course, we are going to ask you, Chris, to hang out for us. We're going to go to a commercial break. We're going to come back. We're going to play that Southside cut again, and we're going to come back in, talk to you some more, and then we have one more song we want to play for everybody. It's an instrumental. I checked it out, actually, this morning. I was in the back with a cup of coffee, kicking back, listening to it. It was great stuff. So we'll be out on a commercial break, come back with Chris Anderson, Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes.
Is on the grass, remembering games and baby chains and laughs. Got to keep living on the path.
Let me tell someone you know have an addiction problem. Healing and a new way of life is only a phone call away. Palm Partners Recovery Center specialize in chemical dependency, offering a comprehensive program of detox, treatment, and aftercare. Palm Partners combines traditional 12-step recovery with holistic and therapeutic treatment, guiding the patient to long-term recovery. Take control of your life. Reach for the highest quality care at an affordable cost. For a free consultation, call Palm Partners today. Toll free, 877-284-3052. That's 877-284-3052. Palm Partners Recovery Center, healing mind, body, and spirit. Let me tell you about the Sound Pillow. Sound Pillow helps many people in early addiction recovery who suffer from stress, anxiety, fear, and long sleepless nights to get a comfortable night's sleep by providing a calming and soothing feeling for the mind's everyday distractions. Sound Pillow allows the mind to shut down, the body to relax, and the spirit to heal. Go online to soundpillow.com. That's soundpillow.com. And while you're there, check out the many endorsements from people and addiction treatment centers using the Sound Pillow. Don't lose another night's sleep. Call toll free today, 877-846-6488. That's 877-846-6488. And let the healing begin. Go online to soundpillow.com. That's www.soundpillow.com.
the fast-paced world we live in, it's hard to find a company that has an impeccable reputation based on professional skill and knowledge, coupled with a strong work ethic, honesty, and integrity. Welcome to the world of Canatelli Builders Incorporated. Specialists in custom residential and commercial construction for 3 generations, CBI finishes the job as agreed and on time. Browse our website at www.canatellibuilders.com, read the testimonials, then call us at 954-977-2775 and let us add your name to our list of satisfied customers. While at the site, be sure to follow the link for complete information about Chinese drywall and what it may mean to you. Integrity, ethics, honesty, knowledge, performance, service, experience, Canatelli Builders. 954-277-2775. Canatelli Builders, the official contractor for the Florida Panthers.
The First Step Sober House at Pompano Beach has been part of the 12-step community for 14 years, and they've helped thousands of people to recover from addiction and the issues surrounding addiction. First Step Sober House at Pompano Beach is a sober living community built on the 12-step approach. Male or female, you can learn to be responsible again. Their 3 to 6 month intensive sober living house features a compassionate and structured program, and they work with attorneys and the courts. Call the First Step Sober House at Pompano Beach today, 954-942-7414. That's 954-942-7414. Or go online to firststepsoberhouse.com. Remember, if the elevator to your success is broken, you must take the steps. Take the first step today by calling First Step Sober House at Pompano Beach, 954-942-7414. Or go online to firststepsoberhouse.com.
When it comes to taking the proper supplements, it's all about absorption. Multi-Life from Enzyme Labs provides not only vitamins, but also 43 nutrients and over 70 trace minerals, all in a proprietary live enzyme blend. Multi-Life also has a special formula to support brain focus, similar to those found in well-known brands, but at half the price. Vitamins without live enzyme can't be absorbed by the body. Multi-Life's proprietary live enzyme blend guarantees improved digestion and the best absorption of vital nutrients to every cell in your body. Switch today, and your first month is free. Just pay the cost of shipping and handling, only $5.95. Multi-Life, top quality ingredients, the best formula, focus factor, the right combination, and maximum absorption. Call toll-free, 877-500-5529. That's 877-500-5529. Or go online to Tanitrol.com. That's Tanitrol.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose any disease.
Someday, watch out, run out, ready to fly, waiting for the shooter down. I'm a strong tonight. You can't stop the flow. One more chance to get it right. Turn it up, make it up. You got the new life with a beautiful. One more night to ride. One more night to roll. One more night, gotta make it right. That's all I know. So you just cares and the beat of the keys. I don't care what it all means. I got everybody going in a different direction. What if I forget the words? You won't know. You can't feel again. We just look at the stars. You want to one more night to rock. One more night to roll. One more night, gotta get it right.
Good stuff. Of course, Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes, and we got the lead trumpet player, Chris Anderson with us. Chris, welcome back to the show, and great music, man. And, I've been watching and following the Jukes since I was about 12 years old. I remember seeing Southside and the Asbury Jukes at the zoo in Philadelphia when I was a young kid, and I have not been able to catch them over the last 10 years that you've been with them, but I can tell you that I've listened to some of the tunes that you guys have produced, and it's just been incredible work that you guys have been doing over the last 10 years. And
one of the great things about playing with the Jukes is that I've been with him for 14 years now, and I can honestly say we've never played the same show twice. The great thing about Johnny is that he truly wants it to be a spontaneous expression between the audience and the band. And the band is full of guys who are aware that Johnny could call a tune. And we have a set list, but we never follow it. And beyond the set list that he doesn't follow, he's liable to call any tune from anywhere that half the band or even more doesn't even know. And he doesn't care. He doesn't care if there's mistakes. He wants it to be a creative experience. And I mean, I think that's why we're able to still work, because the fans who follow the band may come to 50 shows a year, or 40 shows a year, because they know it's going to be different every time. They're never going to hear him do the same rap at two shows, because that's just not how he's programmed. So.
It was amazing. You're absolutely right, because when I was, actually following the Asbury Jukes all the way through the 80s and into the early 90s, I got to tell you that you're absolutely right. There was never a show. I don't care if you're at the Chestnut Cabaret, or if you were on a pier down in Atlantic City, or you were in the Round at Valley Forge, because these were the places that I was seeing them at. It was just like every time it was different. It was a different experience, different mood, different feeling, but it was always uplifting and off the chain.
Yeah, I enjoy it very much, I got to say. And he's a fascinating guy, super smart and very creative. And sometimes he'll drive the truck into a wall, but you got to appreciate the fact that he's willing to take the chance. And that's what makes it fun as a musician.
Saying that, and you also, I'm sure there's that understanding that, creatively, you all work together well, or else you would have been there for 14 years.
Right.
So when you start to look at your creativity now that you're clean and sober, do you think it's better now that you've gotten clean, or do you think, that you were creative in your own way then, and it's just a different creativity today, or where are you at with that?
Well, I would say that one of the things that's certainly true about beyond the fact that I drank and drugged because it was fun to a point, but I used it as medicine. I used it because I was very insecure about myself as a musician, as a human being, as a man, maybe as well. But certainly, I was insecure with women and all this kind of normal stuff. But as a musician, I was insecure, and it was certainly, I used the alcohol and drugs to make myself get to that place where I could be more fearless when I was playing. That worked sometimes it didn't. And I bring that up because, yes, there were times when I played really well, and I have some recordings of me playing very well when I was still drinking and drugging, sometimes sober, even though I was, sometimes not drinking at the time, but still my head, I was not a sober human being. But it was not. It was not real. I won't say that I did not have good nights.
Okay.
I won't say that I was not connected at times spiritually, but I have no doubt that now I am much more honest and more connected.
And pure.
To music.
And pure.
A quick story is 2 weeks after I had gotten clean, I was playing with a band, the original band I played in New York, friends, good friends of mine, in a situation that shouldn't have been a lot of pressure. And I got to the club to play, and I knew that if I didn't drink, I wasn't going to be able to play as good as I wanted. That those anxieties I had, the demons I had, were raging, and I knew that if I didn't at least have one beer, just one beer, calm down. If I didn't do that, I wasn't going to be able to play in a good manner. And I sat quietly in the corner of the club, and I clearly remember my brain going through this, where I said to myself, if it means that you have to get high, that you have to drink in order to play, you're going to have to give up music.
Wow.
And at that moment, the compulsion to drink lifted. Now, it's come back since then at times, and I will tell you it's never been as severe as that. That was my moment. That was my moment where I was on the edge of the knife, and I decided that my sobriety was more important than my trumpet playing. And it was an incredible, I get chills saying it, because it was a moment that came out of nowhere for me, and it was amazing how it affected me, because since then I've known that even when I'm nervous, even when I'm faced with something where I feel really uncomfortable, where my face is all screwed up because I've played too much and I can't play, drinking is not the answer. That's not going to get me through it. So,
I was honored the night that I was able to, spend a few hours listening to you guys jam out at the Immigrant, and it was amazing. The New York City Hit Squad, and Christine Ullman, yourself, Jeff Kazee, and Ricky Byrd, and Liberty DeVito. You guys were just off the chain, man. It was a great night, man.
Well, I know you know Ricky, and I'm sure your listeners have heard Ricky talk. Ricky got me involved with that. He had subbed in the Jukes for about a year, and we became friends, and it's great to have his sobriety around me. But he got me involved with that, and the first time I played with it, Liberty's energy, and Christine she's just unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
But it's Ricky. Ricky's his joyous approach really dictates that band. It's really fun.
He's so funny. I mean, he's so funny, and you guys, him and Jeff together are just amazing, because Jeff feeds him and he feeds Jeff. On the funny tip, because they definitely make it humorous while they're there. You know what I mean? Well,
Jeff's in the Jukes, and he does the same thing with Johnny. So for those of you who like humor with your music, whenever Jeff's on the stage, if he has a microphone near him, he will add to the levity. As does Ricky, and as does Southside.
Yeah, they're great bands, and we have two things that we want to talk to you about. First of all, the first thing is that what do you see in your future? I mean, anything good coming up that you want to talk to our listeners about? Some of the things you might be working on. I know there's a Firehouse thing or something that the New York City Hit Squad is going to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny's schedule is pretty busy this summer,
okay. So
I'm happy about that. I don't think we're going to be in Florida, but we're pretty busy, and that's good. And I think the horn section is in the Jukes is going to do some other things. We're going to do some recording with some other people, but nothing I can really talk about yet.
Okay.
But there are definitely some things in the works. And my friend John Isley, who I started this horn section called New York Horns in '97, and we put out an EP in '99. I think you're going to play some of the cut or a whole cut later.
Yeah, actually, we're going to play it on the way out with you. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that was that kind of went crazy on the internet. 350,000 downloads. Unfortunately, it was on mp3.com. I was not paid for the downloads. They were free downloads, but it got a lot of interest. And then John went on the road with different theater groups, and I can see you met John at the NYC Hit Squad.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Actually, absolutely.
He and I are writing again. So we've recorded. We just finished one old track that we had, and I believe that the New York Horns will be posting on our website, NewYorkHorns.com. We're going to be posting up soon, within the next few weeks. So I'm happy that John and I are working together again.
That's great stuff.
We've done some nice stuff, and whatever comes down the way. As a New York trumpet player, I'm open to everything. I'm playing a graduation ceremony for NYU on Tuesday. That's going to pay me a couple $100. I do whatever comes my way.
You know something? You're a great guy. You're very humble, and I was really, really pleased to have you on. We had an opportunity to sit and chat for about 45 minutes. Actually, we were talking so much you were almost late getting up on stage.
I know they were on stage. I said, wait a minute.
But it was a great conversation, and it was very, very, you could just see the gel that you have for not only, for your recovery most of all, but for everything around you, very in tune with everything that's going on around you. It's great stuff. In the meantime, I definitely want to make it a point to let you know, of course, rockersinrecovery.com. We now have our own radio station there, and we're looping, of course, all kinds of music through the radio station. We got Christine Ullman up there. We got Ricky and Richie are up there. And when you get something done, it's a streamer. Let us know. We'll play it and promote it for you. It'd be great.
As soon as we finish the first cut, I will send it.
Sounds great. We'll look forward.
We'll be the first guys to get it.
Well, I appreciate that, man. We really do. Because, something, again, what we're trying to do, and just like you try to do in your everyday life, you want to be of maximum service. And I'm sure that, as you go through your days, you must run into musicians. You must run into people that say, something, Chris, I know you're not using it anymore. How'd you do it? You ever have those questions?
No. I mean, in AA, it's about anonymity, but I can tell you that some great musicians who I know that I was affected by when I was using. I was affected by people who were sober, and I know that since I've been clean, though I wish I don't go to as many meetings as I should to share it with people, which is why I'm glad I'm able to do this today. But I know that specifically, 10 guys, let's say, that I had a little hand, and they looked at me and said, wait a minute, something, maybe I don't have to do this. And that's how it works. It works because you see somebody who's not in the same pain you are. And, music is a great thing. And the idea that you got into it hand in hand with drugs and alcohol does not mean that music can't stand alone. There are many musicians who played music from the very beginning, played rock and roll from the very beginning, who didn't abuse drugs and alcohol. Unfortunately, we were not in that group, but it works without it. It definitely works without it.
Chris, we're going to go out to another break, and of course, when the commercials are done, we're going to play the instrumental. What is the name of that instrumental?
Miles from Chicago.
Miles from Chicago. We'll play that.
You'll hear a little bit of Miles Davis's voice that we stole from a radio broadcast talking about Charlie Parker, talking about why they didn't get paid because Charlie Parker was late.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a tune that an instrumental that John and I did in about 1999.
Well, we're definitely going to listen to it. We'll be back right after this message. And, of course, Miles from Chicago.
Not feel the pain, like drinking myself slowly down the drain. Anything can fix me quick.
suffering from pain or symptoms that traditional medical doctors are unable to treat or understand? At the Holistic Healing Center, we have the solution to these kinds of problems. Our professional staff will assess your symptoms and create a personal treatment plan to restore you to health and wellness. Treatment plans include acupuncture, massage therapy, mild hyperbaric oxygen therapy, colon hydrotherapy, heavy metal testing, bionutritional therapy, and much, much more. To schedule a consultation or for more information, call 305-919-7877 or go to our website at holistichealing.com. At the Holistic Healing Center, we will restore you to optimal health and wellness, mind, body, and spirit. Please don't wait. Call 305-919-7877.
Are you looking for a new, healthier way of living? Maybe you're suffering from high blood pressure, diabetes, or another diet-related illness. The Green Wave Cafe is a unique raw food restaurant and market carrying the finest organic foods and supplements. Owned and operated by Raul and Lisa Valley, the Green Wave Cafe is also a school for gourmet raw food preparation. Lisa graduated from the Living Life Culinary Institute, and Raul is a health educator at Hippocrates, dedicated to teaching a diet promoting long and healthy living without sacrificing flavor and taste. The Green Wave Cafe, located at 5221 West Broward Boulevard in Plantation. Check our website at www.greenwavecafe.org to find daily lunch menus, schedule of raw food cooking classes, and special events. Call 954-581-8377 for more information. The Green Wave Cafe, a way to healthier living.
My name's John Hollis, and of course I'm with Holistic Lifestyles Radio, and we want to talk about Crossroads in Antigua, helping people take the first step towards change. Do you know somebody struggling with addiction to alcohol, prescription medication, or other drugs? Crossroads Center of Antigua provides comprehensive detoxification, treatment, and continuing care services within a holistic body, mind, and spirit approach to recovery. Founded by Mr. Clapton, Eric Clapton, Crossroads Center is recognized as one of the top 10 international programs for addiction services. Crossroads provides quality, affordable care for individuals and their families. Call now for a free confidential assessment and speak with one of course, their admission counselors. Give them a call at 877-318-8834 or check out the website at crossroadsantigua.org. And remember, recovery is possible and is often life-saving.
My name is Charles Becker. If you or a loved one has been injured in an accident due to the negligence of another, care enough to hire Beckert & Associates to protect your rights. We are an AV-rated law firm and have 45 years of combined experience. We are all former prosecutors and have all worked for the insurance companies, so we know what they're up to. They have their attorneys, and so should you. When involved in an accident, remember, you may be entitled to $10,000 in medical or lost wages under your PIP policy. In addition, you may receive payments for your pain, suffering, or for the suffering of a loved one. Contact us at 954-941-8363 or visit us on the web at southfloridaattorney.com.
The hiring of an attorney is an important decision that should not be based solely upon advertising. Ask for free written information about the firm's qualifications and experience.
Here's hoping you're healthy and wealthy. South Florida's Health and Wealth Radio Network, AM 1470, WWNN, Pompano Beach.
The opinions expressed in the following sponsored program are strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, so they're not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. This is the Holistic Lifestyles Radio Show, brought to you by Holistic Lifestyles Radio.
Anderson, and of course, John Isley, New York Trumpets, the New York Horns, and of course, the New York Horns have been working together since 1997. Is that correct, Chris?
Yeah, as I say, John was on the road for about longer than 5 years. So we've had a break from it, but we're recording again together, and I'm looking forward to putting something out. As I said, we've pretty much finished one track. We're going to start posting tracks on our website, and I'll send you one when we finish it.
Sounds great. Something we want to thank you so much for taking your time on a Sunday night, being with us here at Rockers in Recovery, and letting our listeners know a little bit more about you, a little bit more about your music, but most importantly, that recovery is possible, even when we, especially on days that we think that we can't make it, we can.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it.
If you could sum it up in a minute, what would you do tonight?
What would I say? Well, I'd say the gifts from my sobriety are more than I could have imagined. The biggest gift that I have is that I have two kids that I can raise honestly and to the best of my ability. And that's what in life is be honest and try to the best of our ability. And when we do that, when we show up, we're honest and we do the best of our ability, it's amazing what happens. And that's because of sobriety. That's because I'm not hiding behind my fears and my insecurities.
Great stuff. And, of course, we want to thank you again for being on. Chris Anderson, you can find him at SouthsideJohnny.com. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Yep. SouthsideJohnny.com. You can check him out right there. And, of course, you can click on the band, and Chris's information's there. And, of course, Chris Anderson, lead trumpet player for Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes. We want to thank you for being with us again tonight, and we look forward to we're going to hold reserve to bring you back in the future.
Cool.
Sounds
My
good.
pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Take care, Jeff.
Yep. All right, guys, listen, hang tight because we have Chasm Sultan coming up. Chasm Sultan of course, Todd Rundgren is going to be with us. And most importantly, if you're listening tonight, we're going to be talking about the concert May 28th. It's a free concert in Pompano. Me, Chasm, Dawn Wilder, and some other folks are going to be discussing that. We'll be back.
Sure, nothing to look forward to but a long someday. Watch out, run out, ready to fight. Waiting for the shooter down. I'm a come tonight. You can't stop the floor. One little chance to try to get it right. Turn it up, let it go. You make it look like
Here's hoping you're healthy and wealthy. South Florida's Health and Wealth Radio Network, AM 1470, WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Let me tell you about the Sound Pillow. Sound Pillow helps many people in early addiction recovery who suffer from stress, anxiety, fear, and long sleepless nights to get a comfortable night's sleep by providing a calming and soothing feeling for the mind's everyday distractions. Sound Pillow allows the mind to shut down, the body to relax, and the spirit to heal. Go online to soundpillow.com. That's soundpillow.com. And while you're there, check out the many endorsements from people and addiction treatment centers using the Sound Pillow. Don't lose another night's sleep. Call toll-free today, 877-846-6488. That's 877-846-6488. And let the healing begin. Go online to soundpillow.com. That's www.soundpillow.com. SubsGrill.com.
Are you ready for real food made fresh for you? Then the new Miami Subs Grill is just what you're looking for, offering the best cheesesteaks anywhere. Our Philly cheesesteak is marinated steak with onions grilled to perfection, then smothered in Swiss American cheese and served on a baked sub roll. Need the perfect game time meal? Try our chicken wings. Crispy style, straight off the grill, naked or boneless with our famous wing sauce. You want them tossed or extra hot? We got them. Of course, you could always go for the gyro. After all, no one does a gyro like Miami Subs. The all-new Miami Subs Grill. The best cheesesteak, wings, gyros, burgers, and more. Much more. Always open late with some of our locations offering breakfast, beer and wine, and delivery. Yes, delivery. For more on Miami Subs, go to MiamiSubs.com. Get special deals and coupons or like us on Facebook for exclusive Facebook offers. With over 30 South Florida locations and more than 20 years in South Florida, Miami Subs is still the hometown favorite. The new Miami Subs Grill. More delicious choices, all new flavors, and a great new look. Come in today.
Attention, the 4th annual 12-Step Music Fest is coming November 3rd through the 6th in Sugarloaf Key, Florida. 4 days of music and fun with 12 musical acts along with the Rockers in Recovery Supergroup featuring Ricky Byrd, guitarist formerly of Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Liberty DeVito, formerly of Billy Joel, Woody Geisman of the Del Fuegos, Kason Sultan of Todd Rundgren and Utopia, Christine Ullman of the Saturday Night Live Band, and 4 more to be announced by September. Find out more about this sober Woodstock in Sugarloaf Key by joining RockersInRecovery.com or by calling 877-799-8773. Free concert, Rockers in Recovery Memorial Day Weekend Concert, May 28th, 1:30 to 6:30 p.m., featuring Ricky Byrd, guitarist of the NYC Hit Squad and formerly of Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, along with Kason Sultan, bassist of Todd Rundgren and Utopia, Mick Jagger and Celine Dion, along with 3 other great bands, Johnny B and the Road Dogs, Keep Coming Back Band, and Rhetoric. Come out and join us at the First Step Sober House Memorial Day free concert at 450 Southwest 2nd Street, Pompano Beach. To find out more, go to RockersInRecovery.com or call 877-799-8773.
It's the hottest new addiction recovery mega community on the web, Rockers in Recovery. Music, news, interviews, events, and festivals with an insider's angle to the rock and roll industry, all backed up by artists who are in recovery and support recovery, featuring dozens of rock legends like former Joan Jett and the Blackhearts lead guitarist Ricky Byrd, Richie Supa of Aerosmith, and tons more. It's a worldwide music and media festival at your fingertips. Get inside the rock and roll recovery scene with a click of your mouse. Click RockersInRecovery.com. That's RockersInRecovery.com.
Here's hoping you're healthy and wealthy. South Florida's Health and Wealth Radio Network, AM 1470, WWNN, Pompano Beach. AM 1470, WNN. You can join Peter Leonard every Thursday at 6, live from Oceans 234 on Deerfield Beach for the Food for Thought radio show, food trends, restaurant news, and so much more. See Food for Thought on Facebook.
Regular listeners to Peter Bruno's long-running daily radio show, Managing Your Money, know about his original form of research analysis called cycle analysis. This unique system, designed to watch and analyze stock market movement behavior in advance, has guided listeners and clients safely from the market high in the 14,000 area 2 years ago, all the way down to the previous lows below the Dow 6500, just as he protected his clients from the crash of 1987 and again in 2008. If you're not getting the same quality advice from your financial advisor, it's time you called Peter Bruno. Toll free anytime. Consider opening your personalized managed account or find out about the next free 90-minute seminar. The number is 1-800-592-5578. 592-5578. Call Peter Bruno anytime, 24/7. 1-800-592-5578. Benefit from the research that has forecast in advance 2 crashes. Peter Bruno. Call today. 1-800-592-5578.
Think for a moment about how much time you spend planning your vacation. Now, think about how much time you spend planning for retirement. Maybe it's time to change your focus. Maybe it's time to take a trip.
I'm Mo Ansari, host of Market Wrap and president of Compact Asset Management. My team of certified financial planners uses their Target Retirement Income Planning Model, or TRIP. TRIP is an important tool which we use to evaluate investment strategies and lifetime income products. Then we use that information to determine the best strategy that could provide you with the financial security you seek and the peace of mind you deserve. Call Compact Asset Management at 1-800-388-9700 for your comprehensive, customized TRIP report with specific recommendations designed just for you. Call 1-800-388-9700. That's 1-800-388-9700.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor. Funds Custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA, SIPC.
What you want to know. What you need to know. This is South Florida's Health and Wealth Radio, AM 1470, WNN.
Welcome to Berry Supplement Hour, brought to you by Berry's Vitamins and Herbs, located at 3551 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. For nearly a decade, Berry's Vitamins has been one of the nation's premier formulators and manufacturers of today's most innovative nutraceuticals. If you have questions about today's show, please call 561-368-2070. The toll-free order line is 888-888-8022. And now, today's edition of Berry Supplement Hour.
A live 5 o'clock drive time on this Monday. We're doing the show live from the studios at Barry's Vitamins and Herbs. I'm Dr. Barry Sinkeet, doing the show for him at 5 o'clock. Usually he'll come in a little bit, but he's with patients, and I'll help do the 5 o'clock hour for him. So what a weekend it was, huh? What a weekend it was. I'm going to get into healthcare and some health studies. We'll talk about some new hepatitis C drug approved. New aspirin came out today, and we'll talk a little bit about aspirin. And some of the people don't even know about aspirin resistance, which really exists. And we'll get into some good, some health news that talks about dentists now seem to be pushing kids with Medicaid away, and this is the problem I'm going to see. We're going to see if we go too much to government-type insurance. We're not set up for it. I'm going to explain why socialized medicine will never work in this country. It's very, very, very easy to understand. And I'll say it now. You can never have socialized medicine when medical school costs so much money. In the private sector, it won't work that way. You look at places like Israel, it is very inexpensive to become a doctor. In this country, it's unbelievable what dentists and doctors come out with student loans. It's just unbelievable. I mean, you look at these little private medical assisting schools. Sometimes they're the same prices as for a kid to become a doctor in Israel. It's insane. So you can't build the roof first. You have to build a foundation, and foundation would be school. And this is just what I see. I just don't see it really happening. But anyway, what a weekend. I dig this guy, Herman Cain. He's he's a business guy, smart, right? But I watched him crumble. I just watched him destroy any chances he had Sunday. They asked him if they knew what the right of return was, and he didn't know what the right of return was. But what I did like, I love this about this guy. They're like, what would you offer the Palestinians? Nothing, and not until they stop showing that they will stop killing and stop declining Israel's right or the Jews to live and exist. And, we know what I'm really upset about, and I'll tell you guys, and I'll get right into nutrition. No one talks. The president mentioned one time in front of AIPAC, Gilad Shalit. This boy was 18 years old or 19, kidnapped. The Palestinians have done everything illegally. The Red Cross is not allowed to have visits. They have not treated him as of course, what do you expect, by the rules, international law. And they have this poor boy now for almost 5 years, and it's disgusting. No country, no civilized country in the world would be allowed to hold a prisoner in that way, which is the way they are. And it's the most disgusting thing. And how can anyone negotiate with a group like Hamas that are such animals that don't respect even their own children's lives? It's a fact. It's a fact. I'll never forget when I was in Israel and I saw the head of Hezbollah in Lebanon say, we will beat the Jews because you know why? I'll never forget this as long as I live. He said that the Hezbollah will beat the Jews because the Jews love their children too much. That the Jews love their children too much and will never put them in the danger that is needed to survive. So imagine that. That's the reason you think because people love their kids too much. Well, you know what? It's the truth. They celebrate the death more than life. We love life and respect life and try to add to life when you're on this earth. Try to give something to mankind, whether it's medicine, whether look, you know, in Israel they just invented a technology. One time we did a show, The World Without Israel Was Science. That camera that you see on TV that actor always advertises, that camera that you swallow and it takes pictures of your digestive system, was invented in Israel. The number one drug, Capoxone, for multiple sclerosis, the best drug in the world for MS, invented in Israel. Israel is working on an exoskeleton to have paraplegics. I saw the whole guy in Israel walk a paraplegic to walk with his children. Now they got approved. They got FDA approval. And for anybody out there with a colostomy, the greatest news for people with colostomies, unfortunately not for ileostomies or urostomies, but for a colostomy, which is the large intestine protruding out.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.